Hey guys, welcome back to the LY show. We continue our Waiting Out COVID-19 series. Today we have two gentlemen, filmmakers from LA, joining our show, Richie and JC. Hello. Hey guys.
Hi, Leo.
Hello. Hey,
Um,
Leia. What's
Thanks for
hey.
up,
having
Leia?
us.
Good to see you. So good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Can you tell us a bit about yourselves? Well, anything. Like we can start with Richie.
I'm a cinematographer freelancing in LA. I've been here for, since what, like 10 years, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
How about you, JC?
Well, I am also a filmmaker. Yeah. I am originally from Panama City, Panama, but I live in California and I've lived here for a long time. So I am a Californian as well. I live in Orange County, so I live maybe, what would you say, Richie? I'm maybe like an hour away from Richie in LA.
You're like 40 miles, I think.
Something like that, yeah. I live in Huntington Beach, and I commute to LA when the work is there, but I try to stay down here. Yeah, and we're here, in the midst of this incredible transformational experience that the whole planet is going through.
Yeah.
What an incredible thing that we've been given, that we've been presented with. It's most definitely in my lifetime, and I'm sure in most people's,
Definitely.
the most significant thing that we've, collectively had to deal with. So.
People say it's good for the for Earth itself, like for nature.
Well, that's the nature, animal life. They're the ones that are benefiting from this the most. That's for sure. It's a good point because there's always, obviously, with so much tragedy, obviously our hearts are broken for everything that's happened and the people that have passed and the people that have gone through bad things. But at the same time, it's also like it's really being an experience to transform. And for example, you can look out. Like I live by the coast, so I can see like the coast. Is so much clearer now. You can see the island across, the ocean, Catalina Island. And whereas the other day I was by the coast and it was so clear. I could just see it like almost touch it, right? And I could tell like, wow, this is kind of like, the effect of so much less use of, of machines and cars and smoke and all these things. So it's a tough lesson, but there's some nice things happening at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not as close to the coast, but I do start smelling the ocean. You know how far I'm at. I'm like by Passatel, and I actually smelled the ocean from where I'm at.
Wow.
Yeah. That's big. That's big, Richie. That's big.
Yeah, because you're pretty far inland.
Yeah, granted, yes, that was maybe I would say a couple weeks ago. I think today they actually started phase 2 of California. Is that right,
Yes.
JC?
Yes.
Okay, so that means they've actually started opening up a few businesses.
Yes.
Open. Okay. And today I drove down the 405 and man, there's quite a lot of cars on the freeway.
Yeah, I agree. I saw some of the same thing happening in Orange County. I see a lot of people out. Some parks are back open and people are there playing and stuff, playing sports. This is the thing, like we as a society here in the US, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like I find like people have been good at this isolation situation, but at the same time, it's very challenging to keep us home, to keep us in-house. It's very, very that's a challenging task. Yeah. To tell this nation that you have to like be in quarantine for this amount of time. Like I'm talking about already maybe 3 weeks back. Like there were already protests out in the streets. So people wanted to go back out. you know. So it's very interesting. As soon as like Richie said today, we officially went into what our governor is considering to be a phase 2, where certain businesses are opening, and it's not even that much, but then you can already see people are just taking the opportunity to go out and go out, drive, go out. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll see what happens.
When was the last time you two saw each other face to face?
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago.
Like
I guess, like a couple of days ago.
Okay. All right. But you're allowed to see each other, you know, from time
Yes.
to time.
Yeah. We're allowed to drive. We're allowed to go out.
Yeah.
This and that. So it's not like we were allowed to do that. And to go back to your question though, yes, I saw Richie a couple of days ago, but we didn't see each other for a long time. We were actually
That was the first time.
Yeah, we've been in a quarantine, that's for sure. So we weren't like getting together, working together, physically, you know, in the same space. None of that until a couple of days ago, when we met for work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been pretty good about just like staying at home, and we pretty much in my house, in my apartment, I have 2 other roommates, and we pretty much just do grocery shopping like once every 2 weeks. And for the most part, we stay home. But for me, I've been like doing a lot of running, so I go out and run around the neighborhood.
Cool. That's cool. So, I mean, Richie, I saw on your Facebook that you got free tests, like a free test on the COVID-19, right?
Yeah, I think I think it was like maybe a week and a half ago. I think they finally opened up the free testing to everyone in Orange County, which is like incredible. And
LA County.
Free, yeah, LA County, and it's free, totally free testing. And so you sign up on a website, and they give you a location that you get to choose, and an appointment that you get to choose, like a time. So yeah, I think after I went on the website, I think I signed up for something that was just like maybe 4 days later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is popular though, because I noticed that some of the locations, it'll have a counter. It'll tell you like there's like maybe 20 spots left in this location, and so those kind of go down. So I think I was on it for a little while before I actually did it, and the locations that I was gonna choose was totally gone. But I actually chose something that was really close by to me. So
right, okay. Nice. So do you know anybody that got tested and it was positive, or?
No, but I do know several people that had the symptoms and they just kind of fought it on their own. I think in theory they might have probably got it. Them and their whole families, because a couple of these people actually have like, you know, husbands and wives and kids and stuff. But yeah, they were able to luckily fight it.
What about you, JC? Can you get a test?
Orange County, I'm in technically in a different county that Richie is in. So Orange County has not yet gone to that point where LA County is. But I believe we will be soon, where they're gonna offer testing for everyone. Everyone, just because if you want to get the test, then you can get it. I believe that we'll be there soon. But I think it's not the priority for Orange County right now, since the numbers are fairly low.
Right.
But you can, obviously, if you are sent by a healthcare provider, by a doctor, you can definitely go and get a test.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Is it the first pretty much the first state in the US that does this?
I'm not sure, actually.
It's a good
Yeah, I'm not
question.
sure.
It's a good
Yeah.
question. I don't know either, but I want to say most likely it's not, because I think maybe New York is they've had to deal with this in a different level,
Right.
But yeah, we're here in California. It seems like the testing is ramping up quite fast. I think the last time I read something, I think we've had over 800,000 tests in California already. So yeah, LA County is really killing it with this new offer that they got for people.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah, if it happened, because I was looking at the chart and I didn't see a significant spike in confirmed cases. So even though you are testing everybody now in LA.
Which is probably why they're moving to phase 2, I think.
Good point.
Yeah.
And it also seems to be like, it really seems to be the thing that, with so much uncertainty, and like, it just seems to be the type of thing that is really going to take a while, obviously. It just seems like the best thing that we can do now is to provide testing for everyone, so that we can have more clarity and we can go about isolating people, in a more specific way. Yeah. So yeah, we're, our country is really going like up fast with the testing. California is. And they're also talking about antibodies test, something like that. I don't know if it's official already, but they're talking about bringing that into the fold, where we can test people and know where their immunity is, or something like that.
Yeah, because if you have the virus, your immune system might be fighting it. So testing that could help to determine if you have it or not. Yeah.
Yes.
So well, I mean, speaking of like you're both filmmakers. The film industry in LA, how is it right now? Non-existent.
Shut down. It's shut down. I have seen a couple of people on my Facebook that have been doing a few, like very few productions, and they've pretty much been doing like everything on their own. So they would go in, set up camera, even sound, and do it all alone in this empty space. And then and I guess they wait for talent to come in.
Okay.
But they're being very, 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 very careful about it.
Okay. Yeah, there's not much going on, and it's basically the times right now in terms of filmmaking, and I'm guessing, I imagine the same way with most of everything, basically with any business, any type of work. But I'm thinking about the creative arts. It's basically a time to, I think, to just be, to innovate and to be like really creative and find ways to do things on your own, basically, or with very few people. Like Richie and I, we're working on a project right now. It's just 3 people, and we take measures, we disinfect everything, we have masks. You can do things like that. So I think in LA, where there's so much filmmaking going on, I think that's happening quite a bit, where people are more like on an independent basis, getting together and doing small things here and there, and continuing with the work, continuing with the, developing of stories and things. That's happening, I think. But in terms of actual physical production, I mean, it's very, very minimum, very, very low.
Yeah, they're going to change things. I know there's a lot of talks, a lot of discussions going on about within studios about just how they're going to proceed with their productions, and it just sounds like everything's going to be different. Like it's going to definitely be a lot slower for filming. They want to take the time in the beginning of the day to possibly do some testing with everyone, if it's even possible. There's probably going to be less crew. In terms of lighting, it's going to be very limited. for the amount of lighting people.
Mm.
Camera as well, very limited.
Yeah.
I think actors are supposed to, I think, come in like maybe without makeup, something like that. And yeah, and everyone's supposed to be just like sort of like quarantine in a way. You know, they're kind of thinking about doing this with like the athletes in the sports world, where they're just trying to keep everyone contained in one area, and they won't be leaving that quarantine until after the production is done, or after like the season of the NBA will be done.
It's like the Big Brother's
Oh yeah,
reality show.
oh yeah, exactly. It's exactly Big Brother. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty strange moving forward, and I think it's gonna be like that for a while.
But there's probably gonna be a lot more animation, right? Probably more animated work.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, whatever you can do at home, from home.
Yeah, and then people will just do their voiceovers, or at home, all the voice acting.
Right. Are you seeing more, more of those types of production? Or, I mean, I think a lot of people move their career onto YouTube.
Yeah, I have noticed. I've been kind of like keeping track of some of the technology, and I've noticed a lot of things, like anything that's streaming related is like being sold out. Video capture cards, microphones, all the podcasting stuff. It's all getting like sold out. Yeah.
Everything gone. What's Leia? What's just curious to know so we are, at least in California, we are what they're calling, we're moving into phase 2, which is certain businesses that are very low risk are starting to open up. Where are you guys with this whole thing in China?
We're at phase, I don't know. I mean, because the only thing different is that you have to wear a mask on public transportation, but you're not limited. Like you can go anywhere, you can do anything. The businesses are all open, and
wow.
But the only thing is you have to wear a mask. Well, anywhere public, I guess, unless if you're in a restaurant. There are companies that like make their employees wear a mask during work, but not every company does that. And of course, the airport, like if there is an airline coming from very heavily affected area, then everybody from the airline would get tested at the customs, and if they have the virus, they'll be quarantined.
Okay.
And are they doing temperature checks?
Yeah, and the actual virus test, and the temperature check is like at all subway stations and train stations and some malls and even little businesses. Yeah, they have a person that has the thermometer, and then it goes. It points at your wrists. Yeah.
Is there any filmmaking going on in China?
Yes. Well, I'm not involved in too much involved in Chinese film production, but it is going on.
They are making movies right now.
They're making movies, but the cinemas are not open yet. Like there's no the cinemas. So. But potentially once I think they're opening it up like pretty soon. And once it's open, they're gonna show some major blockbusters.
Well, there's some talks about like the theaters opening up here, but they were saying the theater can only sell 25% of their capacity.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like
So everyone's going to be spaced out and everything.
They were like, I think in March, they opened Shanghai theaters for one afternoon and they closed it back up. But when it was like, it opened for half a day, and I don't think there were any audience, but they opened them up.
Wow.
And I was looking at the charts, and the theaters, they arranged the seats in a way that only seats that are apart can be available. So like you can only choose seats that are apart.
Yeah, I feel like movie making is going to take a big hit in terms of just, you know, movies in the film theaters. Like here in the U.S., I don't see people going back to the theaters in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
In a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they open and they establish some social distance type of norm, I mean, it's like it's natural to think like, hey, I don't want to be in a closed space like that, you know, with other people, public, you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it'll take a minute. It'll take a while, most likely.
Have they started? Are any sports going on in China?
That I don't know. I don't believe so.
Okay.
Last time I checked in China, and I haven't. It's not like I have all this information about sports in China, but I was reading a little bit about Jeremy Lin, who plays in China, if I'm not wrong, and I think it's in China, and they were already practicing, but they're not playing games yet. But they're already practicing. They're already, you know, training. The teams are together, and they're preparing to launch the league back up.
Right.
Soon. So it's really good to hear that China sounds like, from what you're saying, Leia, it really sounds like you guys are doing quite well after the storm. Now you are definitely in a way better place now. It really, you know, it's really good to hear that, you know, that you guys have, you know, your economy is back up, back, you know, at work, and that, you know, people are working. That's so important, you know.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like it gives us hope. Gives actually the whole world hope.
Yeah,
because I feel like you guys are the only ones that have really like flattened the curve, right? You guys are like this.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe not there.
It's got to be flat for you guys to be like, or everyone working, you know, like it's got to be flat. And
it's flat.
That's great. That's great. Gives us hope, but also in my mind, because this is the first time that I talked to someone directly that's in the environment over there. Like it really gives me a sense of peace. Like, man, like this is good for China, you know. It's good that you guys are doing so well. So
yeah. I mean, we had our Labor Day holiday early May, and people were traveling within the country. Like people were just going to other cities. And they're opening up the Shanghai Disneyland. It's been closed for a long time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Hopefully they'll have some discounts.
I don't know. But I think there will be a huge influx of people because people do want to be entertained after such a long time. And I don't know. Like you were saying that people wouldn't want to be in a theater, but maybe there will be a bounce back. Like
hopefully.
People.
Hopefully. Yeah. It's just my feeling right now, at least here in the U.S. I feel like people will be kind of like very shy about that idea, but I'm hoping that it's different. You know, it's all we can do right now is hope, because we don't really know much. You know, they're saying there's different companies already working with vaccines. They're saying probably early next year. You know, so it's like it's the type of thing like we have to make peace with the fact that at least for us here at this point, it's still like one day at a time. You know? That's why it's so good to hear that you guys are doing so well. Because it brings hope. Because now for us, it's more like, okay, one day at a time. Tomorrow, again, one day at a time. So, but
yeah.
So, Richie, you told me that you and JC are doing a podcast together.
Yes, we are. We're testing. We're doing some. We're in the testing phase.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in the testing phase for what? How many weeks would you say, JC?
3.
Okay, 3 weeks.
Okay.
2 to 3.
But we're getting close, right, JC? We're getting close.
Yeah, I think we're close. I think we should be good to go. Maybe this coming week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll send you a link. I can send you a link to some of our tests.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Check it out, Leia, and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We're trying.
I'd love to. I mean, it looked nice from the screenshot that Richie.
Yeah, Richie.
Well, we tried doing it through Zoom or Skype, but Skype was kind of giving us some issues.
Not working good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom's probably better.
Yeah.
But we would need to kind of, I guess, design our graphics around, like kind of what you do. Yeah, we would have to design the graphics around this.
Yeah.
Or you can have us like an individual feed from your own camera. Like you talk via Zoom, but you have your own camera set up next to the computer.
Oh, like right here on the side.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
There you go, Richie.
Yeah, we just need to get.
Thank you, Leia. Thank you so much, Leia. We needed this. Thank you so much.
We've been dealing with so many technical issues with doing this, because like having like a podcast done remotely, it's been challenging, because we're doing it in a way where, you know, we have a split screen, and we'll do like we'll cut from the split screen to cut to, you know, just a single on JC, you know, things like that. But that would probably solve that issue. The only problem is JC would need to manage the camera himself.
Well,
all by himself.
Oh my God. That's
it's okay. You used to be an AC, so
that's true. We'll make it work.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll share it with you, Leia, so you can check it out.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think, and then if you can tell your audience, let them know.
Yeah, I'll let people know. Definitely.
I forgot. Did you want to ask me about the testing process?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you want to elaborate.
I mean, the testing process was pretty straightforward and simple. When I went there, I was expecting, you know, there'd be like 200 people, you know, at the mall parking lot, where they were doing the testing, and it was, I think I saw only like, I don't know, 5 cars. You know, they're all spaced out pretty wide, and you know, you drive to the mall, and they have the signs and the cones, and they basically direct you to the first checkpoint, where they ask you to show your ID, and your reservation number, and then they make you go to another checkpoint, and they kind of do the same thing, but they kind of give you a little bit more information after that. And then the third checkpoint is basically, you know, the nurse coming in to give you your test kit, which is like all in a Ziploc bag, and it basically just contains like a test tube, like kind of a cotton swab, and some like information. That's it. And so what you do is you basically just swab your cheek for about 30 seconds, 10 seconds in each, like the left cheek, 10 seconds on your top of your mouth, and then another 10 seconds on your right cheek. And then you just dip it, then you just drop it in the little test tube they have, which has some liquid inside. And you seal it, shake it up, put it in the Ziploc bag, and then you just drop it off in like a garbage can that's on the side outside the car.
Okay.
And the whole time you don't really, you're not, all you're dealing with it is just the nurse. And they slip everything through like the window, the side, the door window. And so you just open up a little crack and then they just slide in like whatever you need, like the test kit and the pamphlets.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, they ask you to just keep the windows rolled up.
Wow.
Except for those moments. Yeah. Simple.
So that took like 10 minutes?
Less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. Yeah, wow. It was really quick. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and it felt safe. Everyone seemed, pretty calm and professional. It was funny when the first checkpoint, when they give you like the instructions on what to do, he actually gave it to me on like a little like grabber. It was like a stick. Like the paper was at the end of a stick. And he just like threw it into my window, like the side of my window, just like.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Sounds like an experience. People should do that. Everybody should get tested like that.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to do multiple tests because yes, I might not have it this time, but who knows, who knows. But yeah, it takes like a week before I get my results and they just email it to you.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think if you do have it, they will call you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to know.
JC, you should do it. You should take the
yeah,
test.
JC, you should do it.
Just come up to LA County.
Well,
you're not that far.
Don't they require that I live in LA County?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I remember it was very simple information.
Just put Richie's address and then.
That's a good idea. Yeah. That's a really good idea, Leah.
Yeah, and then free testing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I would, but I have a feeling it will be available in Orange County pretty soon.
Mm.
And in the meantime, I have this thing where, like, at the end of the day, I prefer, at least for now, in my opinion, just personally, my own belief, to hold out, because in my own mind, it's like, because Orange County doesn't have that yet, like I want to, in my own little way, I want to have that available for, for that older lady or that older person that needs it more than I do, and things like that. That's my own way of seeing it so far. But I expect it to be available for everyone in Orange County and eventually everyone in the U.S.
Yeah.
I expect that to happen very soon.
Yeah. So back to the podcast. Was it something that you've been planning for a while, like before the quarantine lockdown, or you came up with this idea later?
No, JC and I have been talking about it for a while. We actually did our first test, I think, when was it? Like, was it last June? August?
Okay.
Something like that? September?
Mm-hmm. Somewhere
yeah.
there.
Yeah, but we were just doing straight, like, audio podcast back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've kind of upgraded, and now we're using
video
webcams.
Yeah, but it was interesting because we had started the conversation before this whole thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously back then we didn't even know that there was anything going on, so it was just a conversation about doing something. And we tested once, and then I was super duper busy, and I said, well, for now I'm gonna have to like hold off, and maybe we can do it a little bit later. And then this happened. And Richie got back with me with the idea, and I said, well, maybe this is the right time, and so now we're on it for sure. and we're about to. I mean, I can feel Richie. I think we're close. I want to say we're a week from being able to release something, at least something. Yeah.
Yeah. Release something so that I put in our description.
I'm looking forward to it.
Check it out. It's the JC Diaz show.
JC Diaz show. Yeah, like and subscribe.
JC Diaz show.
Exactly.
Yeah, check us out. We're going to be talking a little bit about sports, but also using that as a foundation to talk about more things, related to everyday life, world, everything.
Yeah, involving like anything, other pop cultures, like such as music, movies, history, even.
Interesting.
Yeah. One of our future topics is we're going to talk about this bad boy Jeremy Lin, who is playing now in China, who was a player in the NBA. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I share the same birthday with Yao Ming. So
no way.
Same hometown. He's from Shanghai.
No way, really? That's awesome. Yeah. Yao Ming is a bona fide beast. That's what he is and was. Bona fide beast, Hall of Famer. Took the league by storm and could have done. He's a Hall of Famer, and he had a lot of limitations because he got injured quite a bit, and his career was basically very short.
Yeah.
And still made it to the Hall of Fame because he was that good of a basketball player. That good he was. So great basketball player. Very well liked and loved here in the U.S. Great guy. Seems like he is,
Yeah.
And Houston Rockets.
Yeah, it was like at one point it was the only NBA team that Chinese root for because of Yao Ming.
Yeah, it's great. Jeremy Lin's story is a little bit different. Jeremy was born here in the U.S. and grew up here, but his story is really fascinating. He, unlike Yao Ming, he was bad. He was a bad boy. Yao Ming could play for any team. Any team would want to have him in his team. Every team would pay him any amount of money to play for their team. With Jeremy Lin was the opposite. This guy was one of those guys that really had to grind and go through all kinds of obstacles and challenges to make it to the NBA. It was basically like borderline a miracle. Not only that, but then he had a lot of success. He had a really nice career, made a decent amount of money, and I'm really liking the fact that now he's going through kind of like a rebirth. Now playing in Asia, where they're giving him a new opportunity, and it's just a beautiful story about a guy that struggles so much to make his dream come true, makes it, still runs into a lot of difficulties, goes out of the NBA before his time. He wanted to play in the NBA, but towards the end of his career here in the U.S., they weren't giving him many opportunities. Perhaps he thought it was over, and all of a sudden he gets this call from China, and there's this big market over there, and now there's this opportunity for him to be kind of reborn and make money, make a name for himself. It's just a beautiful thing. So we want to talk about him a little bit in our show.
Yeah. Cool. So that's a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
That was just a taste.
Okay, it's a teaser
of what he's got. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
A nibble.
Cool. It's already sounding great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you.
So do you have any professional work lined up at the moment? You mentioned that there are productions going.
I mean, I don't know of anything besides the ones that those guys have already taken. But I was in the middle of a shoot in Pakistan from middle of January, and we were supposed to be shooting for 50 days. It's for a feature film. And we finished about 31 days, and then they ended up just stopping production because of the coronavirus. And they basically sent everyone back home. But we're hoping to kind of come back to finish the feature as soon as this whole thing blows over.
Okay, so your whole crew was flew over there. You didn't hire a local.
It was mostly local crew. It's
okay.
a Pakistani. It is a Pakistani feature film.
Okay.
But we did get a lot of. We were shooting in Lahore, which is their second largest city. But a lot of the crew was coming from Karachi, which is their largest city, and so they sent all of that crew back home, and then I got sent back to the U.S. Until this whole thing kind of blows over. But back there, same thing. A lot of people are kind of semi-locked down over there, and a lot of productions got shut down as well.
What about you, JC? Have any work lined up?
Yeah, well, I'm working right now quite a bit, staying real busy. So I've been lucky that I had, that I had that job that I had work going on. And in terms of, future film production, so far it's uncertain right now, other than, what I'm trying to myself develop. So I have the luxury of, working, for myself and kind of having an income for myself already. And in the meantime, what I try to do is I try to create my own thing. So I do have plans. I do write. I do continue to develop and have a couple of stories that I wanna, see happen soon. So for now, that's what I kind of put in my energy into, working on the details of the things that I want to work into the future, into the near future, and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah. It's good to know. I believe a lot of creative people, they're taking the opportunity to really think of something for themselves and create something.
Yeah, something's gonna emerge, after this, where there's gonna be people that are, really gonna come out and do beautiful things. This is a time where really, if you're a creative person, this is a very special time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a time to reflect. It's a time to contemplate on life and what do you want to do. So I'm in the morning, when I have a moment, I just sit on the computer and I find myself just, even with more juice because of all this that's going on. So I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of things going on in the behind the scenes, and I can see some great films being made once we go back. Can you imagine just the inspiration that people are going through right now? If we are inspired the same way, some of the biggest filmmakers are inspired. They're working right now. They're pen and paper. So we're going to see some great films in a couple of years. It's just going to take a little time. That's another thing. That's the big lesson. We're learning to be patient, learning to really understand that sometimes it's not just about what you want and what's comfortable and what's immediate, right? Right now it's well, I know that I want to make this feature film, but I can't go on set even in 2 months if I wanted to. I might have to wait till next year. But in the long run, 2 years from now, I can see some really masterful films coming out, real good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely going to be movies, which is something that we can all do too. But there's definitely going to be movies where you're going to see the COVID-19 situation happen.
There's gonna be like 1,000 of those movies. Probably.
Definitely. It's gonna be movies. There's gonna be movies with love stories around that.
Yeah.
You know,
action movies.
All kinds of movies.
Horror movies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Horror movies,
love stories, all kinds of things.
Comedies.
Movies about podcasters and.
Yeah.
You know.
Stories about podcasters.
Be prepared for a lot of green screen movies.
Oh, right.
But I do see that. I see the potential out there for these beautiful things emerging out of the, kind of like the ashes, right? Because of what's going on. It's just so crazy. Like, I just, on a personal level, I just feel so affected by it on a more like solely just kind of creative way, basically. Like almost I feel like I've been forced more than ever to sit down and like do something, and continue to write and do things.
Yeah. It's good. It's a pretty positive thinking. And
I hope so.
I mean, like we do gotta wait, but like hopefully the outcome is really great.
Yeah, I think so.
We should collaborate on something, Leia.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do like some kind of animated film.
Right. Animated film.
Motion.
Hey, you know what?
Write a Zoom movie.
Yeah. I was saying that like as you mentioned animation, and I was saying that I'm gonna make a comic book.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's like zero budget. I mean, you don't really need to pay any money for that. Yeah.
Right.
Just having a story.
And you could add. Yeah, and you can add like sound effects and music to.
Oh, that's true.
Still frames.
That's true. But yeah.
Animatics.
At the moment, like a comic book seems like a good and practical idea to pursue.
Definitely. That's a good idea. Definitely.
By the way, have you received any financial aid since you?
Yeah. Let us know, Leia. Let us know if you need help.
Oh, okay. I was asking another question. Sorry. Have you received any financial aid? Like, does the government give you any financial aid since people are not working?
Yeah.
Well, this guy's still working, but I definitely got I applied for unemployment, and there's a lot of since I am a freelance sole proprietor, I do have other. The government is also giving money to like small businesses and things like that. So there's like federal money, and then there's state money, and I think there's actually even local city, right? I think.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think my unemployment is California actually. Yeah.
Yeah. The government's got different programs going on for all sorts of categories, businesses, mothers, all kinds of things.
That's cool. It's good to know.
Yeah, and they've already started distributing the money too.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've already gotten some of that, so it's nice.
Good. Yeah. Hopefully, like as the businesses gradually open, you'll get back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as things get back to normal, I got to go back to Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
when do you expect that to happen? Like flying overseas? I
don't know. Right now, I hear it's very hot in Pakistan, so even they don't even want to be filming right now.
Okay.
Their summers are apparently like scorching hot. People don't even want to film around the summers. So hopefully, it'll be a little bit after.
I have, I guess, 2 other questions. This we've already pretty much talked about. What is the first thing you would like to do when everything is over? Everything about the virus?
What are you gonna do, JC?
That's a really good question. I think I will. I think one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm gonna take a trip somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna take a little trip somewhere. That's for sure. It's one of the very first things that I'm gonna be doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Richie?
Oh, me? I'm gonna go Pakistan. Whenever, yeah. Hopefully it won't be in the middle of summer, but yes, I'm gonna be going to Pakistan to finish the film. And then continue on with the JCDS show, right?
Yeah, the JCDS show.
We've been having kind of issues, like, because we're trying to do everything remotely now. And we're trying, it'll be so much easier to do the podcast if we were can do it in person, Yeah. So there's a lot of technical challenges by doing it remotely.
Yeah, we're working on that right now, but yeah, the JCDS show. Check us out at jcdsshow.com.
Yeah.
I think it's nothing right now, actually.
Has the sorry?
I don't think there's anything there right now, right?
No, not yet. But there will be some.
You're gonna have merchandise on there?
Hopefully, hopefully, yeah. We got some killer logos and artwork that my brother Richie, our producer, has created. Man, he destroyed it. He's turned into this beast, and we have this beautiful, beautiful artwork. So I'm gonna make some hats and things like that. So, yeah.
Stay tuned. Coming soon.
Has the experience changed you personally in any way? I mean, on a, I guess, personal level.
I'll leave you, Richie. Go ahead.
For me, yeah, I definitely think so. I'm pretty introverted, and I normally am a person that likes to stay home, but being kind of forced to stay home has kind of made me want to become someone that wants to just be more outdoorsy, and I kind of want to go out more. So these days I've actually been making some life changes, such as I'm working out more, just running. I'm running a lot. I run about 20 miles a day. Not a day, sorry. I mean a week. 20 miles a week. And I'm trying to find ways to just stay busy. Just trying to keep myself busy. Yeah. No more Overwatch. 0 Overwatch, actually.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
None. I haven't touched it for months. So big changes.
Changes for the better.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Most definitely.
JC?
Yes, definitely changes a lot. I feel like I've changed in some ways. It's been an interesting experience. What would I say if I feel like I've changed? I think this has given me an opportunity to slow down a little bit. It's very interesting what Richie said, because I think that's really good for him. It's a really beautiful thing. So it really, it's interesting for me, because I feel like it's almost like the other side of the coin. I was more before the quarantine used to being all over the place and always out and always working in different things and moving from one place to the other and just having this very hectic schedule in life, and this is kind of obviously forced me to slow down and to stay mostly at home and to be there, you know, and understand that being there is perfect too. That, you know, that being in one place, being home, being with the people that you love at home, and slowing down like that and having more time to talk to my mom, more time to talk to my pops, you know, it's also a really beautiful thing just to really back in, you know, bring it back in and just keep it simple, you know. So I'm enjoying the contrast of being home and slower and doing more of just one thing instead of being like trying to do so much.
Nice, perfect. That was the perfect ending to our show. And thank you guys again for joining.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, Larry. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
So good to see you.
Me too.
We love you. We love you, and we hope to see you soon over here in the U.S.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk, I guess. Like if we want to collaborate, and Zoom always a good choice.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do this again.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye.